Country Radio, WIFO, 105.5 FM in Jessup. I was sitting on the phone chatting with Chris Carr and had to get me on the air. All right, WIFO, 105.5 FM in Jessup. And it is now time for the world-famous Butch and Bob Show, brought to you by Mike Birch Ford in Blackshear, by Jessup Premium Stores, located out here on the Waycross Highway, and also brought to you by Murphy Builder Supply, located on Northeast Broad Street in downtown Jessup. Good morning, Bob.
Good morning.
All right, we got Attorney General Chris Carr on the phone with us right now, and he's down in this area right now, and he's going to tell you what's going on. Go ahead, Bob.
Okay, Chris, how you doing?
Good morning, Bob. How are you doing?
I'm doing great. Good to talk to you. Again, appreciate you calling in. Again, known you for quite some time. Consider you a friend. You worked a long time with Johnny Isaacson. I see where you and Johnny Isaacson worked on an opioid. It occurred back on August 9th in Augusta, but Buddy Carter was in town yesterday speaking to a group of foresters here and talked about how 150 people a day die in this opioid epidemic. So I asked him, how do you get a handle of this? I said, you've been working on it along with Senator Johnny Isaacson. Tell us about that statewide task force and what all you're doing in your office to solve this issue.
Absolutely. Well, I appreciate it because, this is a tough issue, Bob, and it's a national epidemic, and Congressman Carter is doing a lot of great work on this issue on the federal level, and they passed a number of different bills that I hope, and I'm hopeful and positive that will make a difference. The president has made it a priority, and anytime the president of the United States makes an issue a priority, it's going to get the right attention. But in the state, we have 4 Georgians who are dying each and every day. Doesn't matter where I go in the state of Georgia, somebody will come up to me and either say they have an issue, a family member has an issue, or a friend of theirs has an issue. And so we're doing a number of different things. This is a crisis that is complicated because there is a medical purpose for using opioids. There are people that need it for cancer treatment, post-surgery, end of life. I had a friend in the burn unit at Grady, and she was given opioids, and under a doctor's care, it can be very effective, but there are those that will abuse it, and there are those that have used prescription drugs, and then that gets expensive, and then turn to heroin. So what we've done, though, is we're doing 3 things. Number one, we are part of a multi-state investigation over 40 states looking at the manufacturers and the distributors, looking particularly at advertising practices to make sure that the law was followed, and if not, to hold folks accountable. Number 2, there's a lot of cities and counties that have filed their own lawsuit. We're in the process of looking to see whether the state of Georgia should file a lawsuit as well. But you mentioned the statewide task force, and this is something that I think is I'm very proud of and something I think has been very effective. As I was going around the state, Bob, the thing I was noticing is we have a lot of passion. There's a lot of companies and nonprofits and agencies, there's law enforcement, K-12, all are involved in this issue, but we weren't communicating. So this task force is different from other task forces, where you oftentimes get 6 or 7 people, go around the state, take testimony, write a paper, nobody ever reads it, nothing's ever done. This is building an infrastructure of communication between all entities and everybody who's passionate about this issue and everyone who has got expertise. Bring everybody in the room and let's ask 3 questions. What are we doing to address the crisis? 2, how can we leverage the experience and assets we have to address the crisis? And 3, if there's a gap, how do we fill it? And Senator Isaacson came with us to Augusta because I believe in testimonials. And to show that this crisis doesn't matter if you are a football coach or you are a farmer or you are a lawyer or you are a United States Senator. This issue impacts everybody because 2 years ago, 2 days before his grandson graduated from Georgia Southern with a 3.9 in math, his grandson overdosed and died. And to have a United States Senator talk about that issue and talk to folks and show how personal it was it just made a big difference.
Again, if you're just joining us, Attorney General Chris Carter on the phone with us. Also, another issue that you're trying to combat is gang activity, which is on the rise in the state of Georgia. Recently, Wayne County had a lot of trials where that gang activity lured its ugly head. I've seen a lot about that. It is on the rise, so how are you going about combating gang activity in the state of Georgia?
Absolutely. Well, unfortunately, again, this is an issue that many Georgia communities need to deal with. It's risen to a crisis stage as well, and you hate to overuse it, but it's true. And it's not unique to Georgia, Bob. I mean, this is, unfortunately, gang activity is on the rise. Recruitment occurs as young as 9 years old. And when you start talking about 9, you're starting to talk about late elementary and middle school. But the Georgia gang investigators just put out a study recently, and they said there are 71,000 identifiable gang members in the state of Georgia and 1,500 different gangs. Now, some of those are national, some of those are local. But when you start hearing those numbers, you start recognizing there's an issue. 157 different counties said that they were seeing a rise in gang activity, and 155 school systems were saying that they saw evidence of gangs. So what we did, again, we called a first of its kind meeting about a month ago, and we got all the U.S. attorneys together, the 3 U.S. attorneys from Georgia. We got the police chiefs, the sheriffs, the prosecuting attorneys, the district attorneys, the solicitors. We got our office, and we got the Department of Corrections, and community supervision again to talk about this issue and to try to better communicate. Because as Bobby Christine, who's the U.S. attorney for the Southern District, so for this area, said, and he's got military experience, he said, look, you attack a network with a network. And so this is a great opportunity for federal, state, and local law enforcement to come together to better communicate and disrupt the gangs. Because what it's all about, Bob, it's all about making money. It's about selling human beings. It's about selling drugs. It's about selling guns. It's about cyber crimes. It's about stealing benefits from the elderly. And so we got not just a legal obligation, but I think we've got a moral obligation to protect communities and families from gang activity, from elder abuse, from human trafficking. And that's what our office is going to do. And you're going to see us play a more active role in that going forward.
And currently you're in this part of the state as you got a meeting with the Council of Superior Court Judges. Tell us about that.
Yeah, so the Superior Court judges met this summer. They have got an annual meeting, and they were meeting on Jekyll Island, and they asked me to come down. And I was their lunch speaker yesterday. Got a chance to give an update on what our office is doing. You kind of reintroduced the Department of Law to them. And, I got to commend our Superior Court judges. They are oftentimes on the front lines of everything I just mentioned, and oftentimes we ask judges to be kind of like law enforcement. You ask them to be marriage counselors and career counselors and friends, and they've got a tough job, oftentimes too when it comes to the family issues with divorces and adoptions and that sort of thing. And so Superior Court judges really are on the front lines. They do a great job, and I was honored to be able to talk about human trafficking and opioid abuse and elder abuse, cyber crimes, gang activity, and what our office is involved in.
How did you get involved in the incident over in California where this coach got fired for praying alone after a football game? Tell us about that.
Yeah, so we've had 2. One was in California, and then one was in Washington. And Bob, all across the state of Georgia here, Wayne County, I know, kicked off last week, and high school football kicked off in the last couple of weeks. And all over the state of Georgia, there are individuals that are praying at the start of the game, praying for health, praying for success, praying for protection. And the coach in Washington in particular, what happened was after a game, by himself, he went to the middle of the field and knelt in prayer and was fired as a result of it because Washington had the school district that he was in had a policy that said you can't give any outward, in essence, any outward religious expression. And we just don't think that that's right. One, from a freedom of speech perspective, and then 2, the Constitution says you can't establish a religion, and that's coercing somebody to join a religion. But it also says that you got to protect the free exercise of one's religion. And we just didn't think it was right that somebody should be fired because they went off by themselves after a game was over, even though they were a coach. And so, freedom of speech also means freedom of religious speech. The First Amendment also protects, like I said, the free exercise of religion. And we've got folks all over the state of Georgia that do take advantage of prayer. And we felt we needed to stand up for this coach, as well as a coach in California that was fired for a similar reason and put on the do not rehire list. That's just not right.
Just a sad story. I'll get you out on this. I know you're a diehard Dog fan. You graduated from Georgia, big Georgia fan. I got to ask you, your goddaughter's at TCU. You got any purple in your closet at this time?
I absolutely do. I've got a great TCU football shirt from her. And if it's important to my goddaughter, it's important to me. But I bleed red and black, as you know, Bob. I'm so excited. It's game week. All is right. It's the most wonderful time of the year.
All right. Well, it's always good to hear from you again. Hopefully I'll see you soon. Again, always good talking to you.
Chris
Thanks,
Butch,
always great to be on the world-famous Butch and Bob Show.
Chris Butch up here with you. When you and I were talking before we went on the air, you said that you're going to be in town at Rayonier. You're meeting with some of the officials and have met with them. What's going on with your meetings and meeting some of the employees at Rayonier?
Just trying to get around the state, and Butch, as you know, is the former commissioner of economic development, and so I am passionate about the power of the free enterprise system, and Rayonier has invested in our state, particularly in the Jessup facility. I want to get a chance to meet some folks there and, meet some of the employees, and because part of why Georgia is the #1 state in the nation in which to do business. We've got a great workforce. We've got the ports of Savannah and Brunswick. We've got Hartsfield. We've got roads and rail, but it's also because we have a stable, reliable, predictable, legal, and regulatory environment. And I want to continue to do that. But it's also because we don't see business as the enemy in the state of Georgia. We see, again, the power of the free enterprise system, the transformative nature for communities and for families. And that's not the case all around the country. There are some states that truly do not see business as a friend, and they actually are adversarial to it. So I'm getting a chance to come by and say hello, and appreciate the chance to meet folks at Rayonier.
Okay, we will welcome you to Jessup today, and glad that you're going to be in town meeting with the folks out at Rayonier, and we wish you a good time here in town. And then I believe you're heading back to the coast when you're through. Is that correct?
That's right. Head back to the coast, then we head back to Atlanta, and the next week we're going to be up in northwest Georgia. So we're getting all around the state. And I understand the Yellow Jackets play Richmond Hill this weekend. Is that right?
That's correct. Tomorrow night. Big game.
It's always big. It's a great time of year.
Okay. Attorney General Chris Carr on the phone with us this morning. Any final words, Chris? You covered all the subjects you want to.
Well, I appreciate it. It's an honor to be able to serve as the Attorney General of the state of Georgia, and I appreciate y'all giving me a chance to talk about some of the issues that we're dealing with.
Okay, Bob, anything else?
Good to see you. Appreciate it.
Thank you, Chris.
You too, Bob.
All right,
y'all take care.
All right, bye-bye. All right, Attorney General Chris Carr on the phone with us this morning. Going to be in Jessup today, Bob, out there Rayonier. Great, welcome to town. All right, so Attorney General Chris Carr on the phone with us, and we appreciate him taking time out of his busy schedule to let us know what's going on and why he's down here in southeast Georgia. WIFO 105.5 FM in Jessup, Big Dog Country Radio. And you're listening to the world-famous Butch and Bob Show. We got more guests in the green room, so keep tuned in. We'll be back in about a minute.
Tradition, excellence. Do you believe? Hail Southern, the home of champions. To the party, to the tag, did he do it? He did! We're stopping the nation! Touchdown, Georgia Southern! Hear every game right here on the Georgia Southern Sports Network.
Your station for Georgia Southern Eagle football, WIFO 105.5 FM.
Good morning, everyone. Our Thursday forecast begins with mostly sunny skies. Today we'll have a slight chance of a shower. It's going to certainly be a warm one as afternoon highs climb into the upper 80s, a few scattered low 90s. Tomorrow, still holding on to sunshine, high clouds, and a very slim chance of a shower or storm. On Saturday, add a few extra clouds into the mix and a slightly better chance of showers and storms. I'm Georgia meteorologist Laura Huckabee in the GNN Weather Center.
WIFO 105.5 FM in Jessup, Big Dog Country Radio, world-famous Butch and Bob Show for this Thursday morning. Bob, more guests here in the studio now from the green room.
Yes, I mentioned on the newscast, they said the fallout from the public hearing and the 3-2 vote for the raising the millage has continued here in Wayne County. A lot of people upset. It's gotten people going as far as joining the campaign in November. We got one of those candidates in the studios with us, is it Kevin McCreary? I want to say Kyle is Kevin McCreary.
Kevin.
Yes,
it's Kevin McCreary.
That's right. A lot of people make that mistake. We had talked about that yesterday, about people writing his name in on the ballot.
Right.
Hopefully that won't be a problem.
Well, first of all, tell us what made you decide. There's a lot of, like I said, the election's Tuesday, November 6th. It's a write-in candidacy. You had to go through a lot of state laws to get your name on the ballot. First of all, you have to get in the paper because that's the legal document. You have to publicize that. Plus, you have to go by and see the election supervisor, Tammy Thornton, and fill out paperwork there. So you've done all that. Tell us what made you go through all these measures to get on the ballot in November.
Well, this is a trying time for this county. We are in a financial mess. This is not something that has started overnight, and it has been an ongoing problem, but I think now it has just come before the public, and when we get our tax bills coming up, we'll really see what the problem is. I've lived in Wayne County for 50 years. My family, my parents, my grandparents have all lived here, enjoyed living here. When I was younger, somebody stepped up to the plate to make Wayne County great, the place that we live in right now, and good Lord put it on my heart that it was my time to step up and make this place a better place than it was before, because a lot of times when we do things, that's the whole goal, is to make it better than the way you found it.
I saw you this past Monday. So did you make the other public hearings as well, or was that the first one you went to?
I did not. I was out of town and unable to make those meetings, and I made for sure that I made the last one. Heard several comments in there and just felt a need to step up and do what's right, and the abilities that God has given me throughout the years, I feel like that's what's going to help me do the best job in this position to make the county get back on its feet to where we're not in a negative from all the misspending that's been going on, obviously.
Kevin, well, McCrary's in here with us. Who's the lovely lady to your right here?
This is my backbone, my wife, Sharon McCrary.
Okay. Now tell us, a lot of folks say, well, who's Kevin McCrary? Tell us a little bit about it, your background, your work, education, what you do for a living, just different things about you, so folks will know who Kevin McCrary is, okay?
Okay. As I said, I've lived here all my life for 50 years. My wife is Sharon McCrary. My daughter is Nancy McCrary Dent. She has just been recently married to Colby Dent. He took over my previous business, McCrary Pressure Washing. I ran that business for 20 years, and he is doing a fantastic job at taking over that. I'm very proud of both of them. I have been in numerous businesses over the 20 years that I have been doing business, and all of them have been successful. I attend Odom Church of God. I am a sound tech. My wife runs the media. We've been doing that for 10 years. I've been a Sunday school teacher. I'm an elder in the church. I'm assistant Sunday school teacher. I'm just an old country boy that has worked hard and sweated. There's a lot of difference in this position that I'm taking now. When you're running a business, your work shows what you do.
Right. And what do you do today? You've had different businesses. Do you have one today?
I have rental properties.
Rental properties. That's what you do today?
Yes, sir.
Now, and you're running for District 2 for a commission, right?
That's
the county
correct.
commission. Kevin McCrary here this morning, a writing candidate for District 2. All right. Bob?
So how do you get people to go into the polls? I said, your name will not be on the ballot. What Tammy explained to me, you'll go in the poll, there'll be District 2, it'll have Jerry Shag writing, it'll have write-in candidate, and they'll have to click on that write-in candidate and write your name in. I've done it in the past. I've written in Mickey Mouse, things like that, because I get in there and I'm not voting any of these candidates. I've done that before. But they don't actually count those votes on election night. So, but you're going to hopefully get enough people to go in and write your name in as a candidate. So, and first of all, how do you do that in this short period of time? And how do you defeat a long-term incumbent? I mean, Jerry Shag Wright's been in there almost 20 years. So that's something that no one's been able to do. I mean, he's had opposition, not many times, but he has had opposition in the past. The most recent one, I believe, Bruce Harris, who just got elected to school board, ran against him one time. I remember talking to him, and Shag's been there for quite some time. He's got a lot of support. So how do you defeat the incumbent?
Well, I don't really feel like I'm running against Shag. I don't know him that well. I don't talk about people that much. I was raised, if you don't have something good to say about somebody, you just don't say anything at all. I'm basically running against mismanagement. We have a problem, and that's what I'm here to use the skills that I've been given to try to fix these problems, find out, first of all, what the problems are, and address those issues and work with people and try to, in the upper management portions, and try to work with them and figure out how we can cut spending. You cannot fix a problem by throwing money at it. I've learned that in business. When the difference between business and the position that I'm seeking, business, you have money coming in throughout the year. As a commissioner, you have a set budget that you are held accountable for, and the taxpayers expect you to stick to that budget with the money that you are given from them. If we can't do that, we're going to be in a position like we are now, and I feel like that is my main goal, is to get things down. I know a lot of county workers, a lot of people are uptight about this situation. I don't think it's fair to penalize them for mistakes other people have made. I look at some of the ride parking lots on the outskirts of town, they're all full because people are having to leave Wayne County to go to other counties to find feasible work to support their family. I don't think that's right. I think that we should have enough business here and industries so that they can work here and don't have to spend those hours on the road traveling away from Wayne County, the place they love to live and stay and raise their family, so that they can live here, work here, spend time with their family, raise their family, and do the right thing, the things that they want to do instead of the things that they have to do to go out of town. As far as writing candidate, this is going to be a tough one. I have had, oh my goodness, so much support. I want to thank everybody for the support you've given me. The phone calls, the text messages. I'm sorry I haven't been able to get back with everybody, but I'm doing the best I can. My voice is going out because I've been talking so much. I have not talked this much in probably 5 years, but I do appreciate the support. That's all I've heard is positive report. They're wanting a change. They're wanting things done. From what we saw at some of the meetings, it's got to be done. This is the time, regardless of how you feel, we have got to have a change in this county, and it's got to happen now. Otherwise, the 5 mills may turn into 6 or 7 mills, and it will never go down. And that's my goal, is to get those mills brought back down. We have a lot of people that live in this county that live on a fixed income. This is going to affect them tremendously. They live on a fixed income. They live on a budget like the commissioners are supposed to be following. Well, when their taxes go up, they're going to have to cut back somewhere, and they don't have a choice. They don't go borrow money and be able to spend more money. This is going to be devastating to them. And I urge anybody that has an elderly person that they know that is on a fixed income during this time, reassure them that we are going to be working on the problems at hand and trying to fix this. This should not be a long-term tax problem. We should be able to get this. I'm not going to give anybody a time frame on how long it's going to take, because I have been kept in the dark from a lot of the things that I think should be made public. And I don't know a lot of answers. People are asking me questions, and because that information has not been given out, I don't know a lot of the answers. But I can promise you I'm going to find those answers out. I will find out the problem. I've talked with several people. I've read over Mr. Hickok's plan briefly. I think when somebody has a plan, that's the first thing we need to look through and see. He has done a tremendous job and a lot of work. people don't realize how much work is involved in this. There's a lot of money at stake here and a lot of areas where that money goes that you have to look at each one individually and be able to make a cognitive decision on what needs to be done with that money and what budget cuts can make to keep people from suffering, to make them suffer as little as possible through this process. The write-in candidate, I'm going to have some help with this. Everybody, a lot of people are not computer literate, including myself. I do the best I can, but I'm going to have people to step up, be able to show people who do not understand how to do a write-in. On a write-in, Mr. Shagwright's name will be at the top, the write-in will be at the bottom. You click on write-in, a keypad comes up, and you type my name in. Once you type my name in, you hit cast ballot if you are through with all the other voting process, and that vote will be given. That's the only way. If you go looking for my name, it is not going to be on there. It has to be clicked on as a write-in candidate. To the understanding that my name and other write-in candidates that are coming up behind me will be posted in the booth with you so that we can get correct spelling. Spelling is not going to be a lot of, I don't think it's going to be a problem. I know I have a tough name to spell, McCrary. A lot of people can't pronounce it. I don't care if you pronounce it or spell it right. It just needs to be close so that we can get your intentions on who you want to cast your vote for.
Again, I understand there's some other people thinking about writing in this as well. I've heard one's already done what he has to do, but hasn't really got the announcement yet. Have you heard other people saying they're going to write in?
I have heard of other people. I think as a community, we can obviously see that we've got to have change. I hope through diligent prayer and looking through what they have to say, we need to take time and make the right decision on what needs to be done for this county. I felt sorry for Ralph when we were at that meeting. I really did. It was bad that we had one person fighting for this county. I'm telling you the facts. I was there. I saw it. We had one person that was fighting for this county. We've got to have more people that are going to stand up and just take the time to go through and see other options. It's easy to say, let's just get more money, throw it at the problem, and that will be fine. That's not right. We have to hold these upper management people. We have to develop a culture of accountability for the government's money, not the government's money, your money, the taxpayers' money. And I hope that you will seriously consider looking at other candidates and their qualifications. That's what should determine, not what you can get out of us. I've had people ask me for favors already. Please understand that this community is $8 million that we have found in debt. I will not make promises. Your road may not get paved, but I can promise you one thing. We're going to get this $8 million in debt taken care of, and we're going to use that money where it is needed. I have a firm grasp on the difference in desire and necessity. Necessities have to be done. That's where money has to be spent to keep this county running properly. I don't have any problem with that. Desires are going to have to be put on the back burner so that we can get this debt under control and get it down to where we can be in the plus, and we can start working on some of these projects that we want to get done to make Wayne County great again, make it back to where we can have comfortable roads to ride on, make it where when people come to this town, they see industries here, they can want to live in Wayne County and see that they can live here and thrive and do good without having incredible tax amounts to pay.
Kevin McCreary in here, write-in candidate for District 2 for Wayne County Commission. I'm not sure if you saw this message that Commissioner Ralph Hickok sent out to a lot of folks. This is a word that he received back from Dave Willis, the Executive Director of ACCG. And this is to Ralph from Dave Willis. It says, as we discussed, if requested by your board, I will send a team from ACCG to Wayne County to review the county's financial situation and, as may be appropriate, recommend steps to improve conditions. It would be November at the earliest before I could assign a team to that task. I know Bob mentioned on the local news this morning it's going to be on the next agenda for the county council meeting. Would you be in favor, Kevin McCreary, for a team from ACCG from Atlanta, who's an expert, I mean, the government body over counties, to come in here and give recommendations and to help Wayne County get back on track?
And I think I heard free with that. Is that correct?
Free? Let's see here. Wayne County. I don't see free.
Okay. Either way, I think I saw free on that. I am all for getting help. We need help. Outside help, whoever can help us. We're going to have help to fix this problem. This is an ongoing problem that we've had. If you get outsiders in, they do not have a biased opinion. Without a biased opinion, they don't really care. They're just giving you the facts. And I think that's what Wayne County needs, is the facts, and the facts put out in the open so people can see it. If they're held in the dark, they don't know what's going on. I've heard that a lot, that they don't even know what the budget is. They don't know what things are. I think that's a great idea.
Okay. I think he's got another question here. Did you have to? Okay, go ahead, Bob. About out of time.
I know we're running out of time. Just get one final question. I'm just curious. You were at the meeting. Everybody says we didn't get here overnight. How do you think we got in this situation?
Misspending. I think that's a lot of it. There's a procurement process that has to go on when you are given a budget. If you do not hold to that, there's going to be a problem.
Okay, Commissioner Ralph Hickok just texted in saying, yes, it is free for them to come down and take a look at everything and give us recommendations and on how to operate more efficiently.
That's just free. That's just more ammunition for us to be able to go forth in what the process that we're looking for. That's my only goal. As a businessman, I never wrote a speech one time to speak to people and tell them what I wanted them to know. My work showed how I was diligent in what I wanted to accomplish, and I think that's going to be the same thing. A lot of people have asked me about transparency. I've been going online and looking at several other counties and the way they have not necessarily social media, but sites that you can go on. It's amazing that you can see where the money goes, where it was spent, how much was spent, and when the project was completed. I think that's what Wayne County needs. They need to be able to see where that money is spent, and I'm excited about that, because when I get through with a project, when we get through with a project as the county commissioners, I think that is great for people to be able to go online, see a graph or whatever it is, and be able to see where the money was spent, how much money was spent, and how much of the project was completed.
And we do have to emphasize to folks that you are running for a county commission seat, District 2, and that only in that district can people be able to write in your name. Because other folks, well, can I write them in if I live in another district? It has to be District 2. Other districts may have write-in candidates between now and the time it's over with, but Kevin McCreary in here, write-in candidate for District 2 County Commission, and he's in this morning kind of announcing what he's going to be doing and what his steps are.
Well, when you're in my district, District 2, Shag Wright's name will come up automatically. So that's the thing that will tell you whether you're in my district or not. If Shag's name comes up, you will definitely know that you need to write my name in. If somebody else's name comes up, you need to make sure that you are looking at the right candidate to write in.
Okay. Bob, any final questions?
I just wish you the best of luck. Like I said, I'm just curious why you decided, like I said, it's going to be a whirlwind Yes, the vote's Tuesday, November 6th. It's a write-in candidacy, which is very hard to do. But you said you have a lot of support and a lot of people calling you, so we'll see how it all plays out. There is a lot of anger, as I mentioned on the newscast, frustration. Saw that these 3 public hearings. There's a lot of upset people, and so we'll see how it all plays out. But wish you the best of luck.
Thank you very much. I would like to end by thanking all of Wayne County, people that are not even in my district. I'm here for all of Wayne County to try to get everybody's taxes back down. And I'm not going to make any promises, but I'm definitely going to do what I can, the abilities I've been given to use to help get these budgets under control. I thank you so much for your support, your phone calls, and your prayers. Please keep them coming, and God bless.
Okay. Thank you very much. All right, Kevin McCrary on this morning, writing candidate for District 2 for the Wayne County Commission. World famous Butch and Bob Show brought to you by Murphy Builder Supply, Northeast Broad Street.